Welcome to Treasure Coast Community Health, with 7 locations to serve you better. We have a dedicated staff. And now, here's your host, CEO Vicki Soulet.
Hello there, and welcome to Community Conversations. You know, the month of October is a very interesting month. In Florida, we think, oh, it's fall. But the weather doesn't necessarily tell us that like it does up north. So instead, we look for some of the events and things that always signal that we're into October, one of those being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So again, with COVID being changing all of us and our normal routines, the American Cancer Society has not done a roundup day per se, where we, like last year, had thousands of people coming to celebrate the success of the American Cancer Society in reducing the number of breast cancer cases that we have through early detection. You'll see that I am wearing a breast cancer shirt from our team event 2 years ago, Treasured Chest. How is that for a bright pink message? So we're very happy today to be here in pink, most of us, and we're going to be talking about, as you can see on the shirt, about our duck derby. So this shirt was sort of a clash or a combination, a merging of breast cancer awareness and our duck derby. So with me today, I have our 2 duck derby professionals that have led Treasure Coast Community Health to 8 different years of fundraising, with your help, of course, to the Great Duck Derby Race. So welcome, Dennis Bartholomew.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here again.
And I see you brought your little duck as well, and your hat, and Colette Hyde.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for your support in all these years of being the duck master, and supporting Dennis. And Dennis, you brought a guest with you today, didn't you?
I did. I brought Thomas Ospina, who is with the Vero Beach Lifeguard Association, and the Vero Beach Lifeguards played a big part in helping us with this year's Duck Derby.
Well, Thomas, welcome. It is so great to have a new guest here to join our steady eddies here, telling us again about the wonderful things that happen on our waterfront. So how long have you been a lifeguard with VBLA?
I've been a lifeguard practically since the beginning of January is when I started with the VBLA.
All right. So kind of a newcomer. So it was really a treat then when your boss told you that you will be doing something special when our Duck Derby race happens.
Special, yeah. Also a shock that I'm doing something.
Okay.
Great.
Well, we always like to engage new people in our organizations. What exactly is your role on the Great Duck Derby Day going to be?
I will be the shark, more or less.
We're going to have a shark in the water?
We will have a shark in the water.
And the shark is with us today.
The shark is with us.
The shark is with
us. Well, that'll add something new and different.
I don't think it's as dangerous as Jaws, though.
that much I can guarantee.
Okay. Not since we've moved it out of the lagoon and into our virtual affair. A location to be named after the event because, again, with COVID, we have to be particularly careful about how we organize things. We don't want to be responsible for a new outbreak as a healthcare facility ourselves.
You know, and we both, having the lifeguards with us, we're both kind of in healthcare.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys save lives out in the ocean, you know, and we save lives on the land. So it's kind of like a good combo to work with these guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So mention your boss's name because he and Dennis put a lot of work and conversation into what will be happening.
Yeah. Eric Tombso is the captain of the lifeguards.
And how many lifeguards do you know are present in Indian River County, approximately?
In Indian River County itself, I want to say at least 30.
Wow.
That's ocean rescue, not including the pool. With the pool, it can be, I think, anywhere from 30 to like maybe 50.
Wow. And that's up at North County.
That's North
Aquatic
County,
Center.
That's Gifford, that's Leisure Square.
Okay.
And that's all the county beaches and the city beaches.
Wow, that is a big job.
Yes, I know.
So did you have to do some special training before you were accepted in?
Yeah, there is always a qualifying run swim to make sure you're enough to be for the beach.
Okay.
And there's also
Good to know.
the
Yes.
same run swim with a certain time that you can be for a pool.
Ah.
So if
Yeah,
you
Tomas
qualify,
hasn't told you, but he's been certified as a lifeguard for like 6 years anyway.
Aha.
Getting to be the ocean rescue guy is the new part of his life.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, that's really good to know. Thank you for adding that
Yes.
because most of us just are grateful that the guys are there. Yes. We might wave if we're out on the beach, or, sometimes the kids will splash at the pools. Yeah, a little bit. But we don't really hear the history behind what happens and how folks are selected to be a part of that organization.
yeah, very true.
Yeah, so thank you. So, Dennis, tell us a little bit more about the sales or the adoptions, I should say.
The adoptions.
Which support Treasure Coast
This little
Community Health.
flyer right here, we usually have these all over town. Because of COVID, many people are not putting flyers in their lobbies or anywhere else. And all, as you know, all community events were canceled this year.
Yeah.
So we were not, Colette and I, who usually hit the trail and get these little flyers out there and get duck adoptions happening.
And big ducks out
And
where
big
people can
ducks
see
out.
them.
And I'll tell you, we haven't been able to do much of that this year. So because of that, we didn't want to give up the Duck Derby. It is a big event for us. It's one of our major fundraisers for the year. And so we're going virtual. But we need the community's help to buy a duck, adopt a duck, get a duck in the race. First prize is $1,000. Second prize $500. Third prize is $250. And with very little duck adoptions this year, your chances of winning are fantastic.
Very good, yes.
Fantastic. So now is the time to buy your ducks.
Absolutely.
And the more you buy, the better your chances. So we would love for you to www.thegreatduckderby.com. You can go online. You can adopt your ducks right online. You don't have to touch anything but your own computer.
And there's an incentive. The more you buy, the more you get.
The more you buy, the more you get. You can buy like a quack pack, and that's instead of getting whatever
5 ducks,
you
actually get 6. Yes.
Or you buy more and you get more. So as you go up the ladder, the more you buy, the more you get. So it's wonderful. We had one guy buy the, what's it called?
It's
the biggest
called
one.
Golden Flock.
The golden flock. We had a
flock.
guy buy the golden flock from us. He bought 50 ducks and he got 15 free.
Wow.
So he's
We've
got
got several of those this year.
So
Well, that
very-
is a great
Yes.
deal.
Yep.
Yes, and a great incentive to buy this year is to help the cause. This year, all the proceeds are going to help mental health services at Treasure Coast Community Health, and we've seen a huge increase in people because of COVID suffering from depression, anxiety, and the myriad of things that happen to people when they are locked down, loss of jobs, no income, and we're taking these people who have no income. They have no means of paying. So all of the funds from the Great Duck Derby are going to help us support that cause this year. So it's helping mental health services for people in this community suffering from COVID who can't afford to pay for services they require. So we cover them. We don't turn anybody away. So we need your help to make that happen.
So when we come back from a short break from our sponsors, I'm going to ask Colette to tell us a little bit more about how people can enroll for our services to get a sliding fee scale discount, and really where's the perception that we don't need additional funding. Okay? Thank you.
No,
Why did the countdown stop? Because it's the countdown to Buzz TV channel 1098, Comcast Xfinity, and it's here. Local content for Sebastian, Vero, and Fort Pierce. Tune in for local info, happenings, and fun, including all the great Planet Vero TV shows from 8 to 10 a.m. and p.m. Dial in channel 1098 for Buzz TV on your Comcast Xfinity box and discover what the buzz is all about. It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Blue Dolphin Pools strives to provide quality service with a well-trained staff in the field and in the office. They want you to know that your pool or spa investment means much more to them than just another account. They believe you have entrusted them with your investment, and they'll do their best to see that it stays in top condition. Blue Dolphin Pool has been in business over 35 years, setting them apart from the competition. Residential or commercial, Blue Dolphin will keep you in the swim. 567-5853.
ITEX, or International Trade Exchange, is the largest barter company in the world with over 25,000 members offering goods and services. We're a marketing company that brings you new business in the way of trade, with over 200 local members enjoying the benefits of ITEX, like lawyers, doctors, plumbers, media, printing, and more.
Hi, this is Liz Bowler. Contact me and find out why barter through ITEX has been smarter for over 30 years. 772-532-1881. Visit itex.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy, the proud owner of Cindy's Cleaning Service. I consider it a privilege to be welcomed to people's homes and offices to make them shine. We do it all from ceiling fans to floors, dusting, and windows. With Cindy's Cleaning Service, you get quality cleaning and affordable rates. We are also licensed and insured. Please give us a call and we will give you a free estimate. Cindy's Cleaning Service, 569-9348. At Cindy's Cleaning Service, the Lord is our strength.
And welcome back to Community Conversations. If you're just joining Community Conversations, I appreciate that you could have anything on the radio dial and you've chosen to stay with us for a few minutes. So thank you very much. We appreciate your support. I'm Vicki Soulet, the CEO of Treasure Coast Community Health, a nonprofit that has been here in Indian River County for over 26 years. And to date, we have served approximately 20,000 unduplicated people just this year. And that's down a little bit from what it was last year. But then again, everything is different in this 2020 world of COVID. One of the things that's different, but a very positive thing for us, as we have found other positive things like being able to Zoom and through that meeting other people from around the world, much less in our own backyard. But one of those things that we have found to be very positive is the idea that we are all in this together, whether it's individual or businesses or nonprofits. And so this year, for the first time, we have collaborated and formed a partnership with VBLA. And so Tomas is here as a representative from that organization. Tell us what that stands for and how is that different than anything else that we might know about the lifeguards.
So VBLA basically stands for Vero Beach Lifeguard Association. It is mainly comprised of small businesses and the Vero Beach lifeguards themselves.
So it is a nonprofit.
It is a nonprofit organization, yeah.
Okay. And what's your mission? What's the intent?
Our intent is to educate the public on water safety and to help fundraise for the lifeguards themselves.
Well, that's a very important mission. Our Rotary, sorry, I got hung up there. Our Rotary Association, Oceanside, has had a Josh the Otter safety program for many years. Of course, that all kind of went by the wayside again because we aim at particularly at the nursery school kids, the 3 and 4-year-olds, because sadly and statistically, 4-year-old boys, the highest rate of their death is due to accidental drownings. They're curious, they're fast, and they don't know what they don't know. And so we share that that mission. So thank you, Tomas.
Anytime.
Tell us a little bit more about how people can get a hold of you. Do you have a website?
We do have a website. Our website is vbla.org, as it's stated on my shirt. And that you can help with fundraising or figure out more what we're about. That'll help the VBLA themselves and the Vero Beach lifeguards in general.
So just out of curiosity, you say that part of the fundraising is to benefit the lifeguards themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about increased wages?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, it was for equipment.
Ah, okay.
Like, even though we're on the ocean and the salt water takes a beating to a lot of our electrical
yes.
stuff and our other equipment like the buoys, paddleboard, rescue board, four-wheeler, radios. The salt water is really taxing on all of those.
And I think people would just assume that came with the job description, like someone else, the city or the county, would be providing those things to y'all.
Yeah.
One would think that, huh? But not enough.
You know, I get the city's trying to do the best that they can with the wages that they have.
Uh-huh.
And the VBLA is just here to back that up more or less. Like, okay, the city can do this much. VBLA is like, okay, how much more can we help?
I think that's called a public-private partnership. And we're seeing more and more organizations trying to do that, both private, governmental, and public or nonprofits. So you're a leader in your group. Thank you.
A lot of people think that TCCH is like that. They don't know that we're like that too. We do get some government funding, but it only covers a small percentage of what it takes to run the organization. Consequently, we do the duck derby and the golf tournament, and we knock on doors and we ask for money, and people don't realize that we're government funded, but only a tiny proportion, about 18%, if I remember correctly, covers the overall budget.
And if people would stop and think for half a second, they would recognize that if there's ever any government funding, there's a heap of payback that they expect in terms of reports, which don't do themselves, okay? Additional efforts or initiatives that they would like to see on a test or permanent basis, things that you might not normally consider doing as a small nonprofit. Those are the returns that are asked for. So I find sometimes it's more of an even Steven than a get ahead through government funding. And please don't take that the wrong way. But again, what's behind the curtain isn't always known.
And also the quality standards that they hold us to. Much higher quality standards than a regular private practice. No offense to anybody out in the world. But, I mean, the government holds us to a really high standard of care.
They do indeed. And that's all good for our community. But again, trying to make people aware of what happens behind the scenes. Nobody wants to brag. Nobody wants to be offensive. But sometimes we just have to put it out there that this fundraising is truly to do things that could otherwise not be possible. In your case, it's primarily equipment and other things. In our case, it's literally encounters for people who would otherwise not get care. Right. Colette, tell us a little bit more about that process, because again, while we have made great strides in helping people understand, since most of our referrals are person to person, I had a good experience, you should try them, they don't always get the full scope of what we do.
Absolutely. I'm always amazed when people come into my office and sit with me and they tell me their story. They don't have insurance. They used to have a job that covered them, and now, unfortunately, they're no longer covered. And those individuals are, they're frustrated. They don't know where to turn. They really see us almost as a last resort. And when we sit down and we review the household income and the family size, and we talk about what services or what other financial resources are available for them in the community, they walk out of my office going, wow, I just had a woman this morning say to me, wow, you've been so helpful. I cannot tell you how important this is to me to be able to see a doctor. I was just diagnosed with a medical condition and I didn't know what I was going to do because I don't have insurance, because I lost my job back in March and I've been unable to get a new one. I haven't received my unemployment compensation. I'm really living from the generosity of friends and family. And those individuals are the ones that tug at your heart and you go, I don't know what else I can do. What more can I give you What other resources can I hand you? So it's very important when people come to us to make them feel as though we're not pitying them, but the reality is we are really trying to help them to get healthier. I mean, this woman this morning, she said to me, I didn't know where to turn anymore. I didn't know what to do. I knew I wasn't feeling well. I knew there was a reason, but I was afraid to find out because I didn't have the financial resources to really follow through with whatever the diagnosis was going to be. So those are the individuals that we see on a daily basis. Our health navigation team, we have a health navigator at every facility, and they will sit with a client, and depending on the situation, where they live, whether they live inside Indian River County or they're outside, depending on those resources that they have available to them, we then manage to get them additional services. And it's really important for our clients because it's their last resort for many of them.
Colette, I do want to add in here, we're part of a partnership, and I do have to give great kudos to the hospital tax district. They give us what is reimbursement for services rendered, and it's an average reimbursement. That is, it's not a fee for service. They give us an average rate for medical or dental or behavioral health services for people who meet their qualifications, being indigent within 200% of federal poverty level. But I do have to say that despite that, it is an average, and we do have patients who, for one reason or another, need more than that average, and that's where this fundraising comes into play. We have counted about 50 individuals right now who have large balances of more than $1,000, which, if you're unemployed, is quite the albatross to carry around your neck. Mm-hmm. And we would like to be able to wipe those out completely. We are not telling these folks, you've got to pay or you're out, okay? But somehow, some way, the expenses have to be met, either by the patient or funding sources, philanthropy. So we're asking for people to support our Great Duck Derby again this year, as they have so well in the past, despite COVID, because at $5 a piece, when you multiply that by all the people who could do that, just a $5 adoption, besides the incentive of maybe we could give you $1,000 check, it's huge to the people that are using our services.
Absolutely. And we have many different programs and many different sources of funding. Not that we have millions and millions of dollars, because I wish we did, because then my job, I wouldn't have to continue, plugging as hard as I do. But the reality is we do have services for women who haven't had a mammogram in years. I mean, your T-shirt was born out of that Think Pink program that we have. And the reason why our ducks have little pink bras on is because we want to make sure that women get their mammos. And we had a great number of women who, unfortunately, were not compliant with mammograms because they just didn't have the resources to go spend $100 or $150 to get a mammo. So we have some very generous donors here in Indian River County, including the Johns Island Community Service League, who has supported that program for many years. But the additional funds that we raise also help to augment the amount of women that we can see through that program.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here for. We want to continue providing excellent care, accessible care, comprehensive and integrated care. And so, as the saying goes, it does take a village. Okay, we're putting in the manpower, but the funding really is of concern, as it is for all nonprofits this year. So pick the cause you like the best, and if you have a spare $5, if we weren't your first check, your first choice on the checkoff box, thegreatduckderby.com.
Sunday, October 25th, Facebook Live virtual event at 3 p.m.
So they still have a couple of weeks here to make a difference.
You have time. You still have time. www.thegreatduckderby.com and adopt your ducks online.
That's right. Quack, quack. Get them now.
Thank you all very much for being here today. And thank you, those of you that have stayed in the listening audience. Next week, we'll have another set of wonderful guests telling you about things happening in our wonderful county. And have a great, great day.